Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who's B, it's your girl KylerB coming at you for a new video. So today we're going to be talking about Love Island Game Season 2, Episode 13. Let's get right into the video. So as we have known, Andrina and Marvin get dumped from the villa after dueling Kendall and Garby. Obviously, like I said, Andrina was safe, but because of Johnny's decision to couple up with the box, and the person in the box was Gabby, basically he ruined the chances for Andrina being safe and caused a chain reaction to, you know, Sydney saving Tyreek and then Marvin being the one vulnerable, and there we have it. Anyway, since Kendall and Garby did win the duel, they were just basically, you know, celebrating their win. They were just so, like, you know, happy, like elated essentially, because, like, you know, a lot of people counted them out, and it was just like, you know, winning on the sheer second for Garby. Like, she won on like a sheer half a second, you know, arm raise, and you know, Kendall was like this close too, so it was like they're very elated. So they were celebrating, kissing, all that, just very happy. You know, they're still here to see another day. Like, there you go. Then we move along to Johnny and Gabby. Basically, they had a little conversation. Basically, he apologized for, like, I guess putting Gabby in the situation that, you know, he did Andrina dirty. And I guess, you know, some of the girls were basically saying, like, you know, stay away from Johnny or don't trust Johnny. Like, even Marvin was saying, like, you know, don't trust Johnny because Johnny kind of screwed him over. So, which is kind of like, you know, Gabby's just like, you know, how does she navigate that? But she's just like, you know, I'm going to take my own opinion of him in account first, which is fair. But, you know, he put in with Andrina was real. He put 100% effort. But he's telling Gabby, like, oh, well, he tried and it didn't work. So, like, he's just here to win. But he's, like, asking, like, oh, Gabby, like, if she's here to have fun, da-da-da. So they start kissing. So I'm like, that's quick, because you were just in a couple with Andrina 2 days ago, or a day and a half ago, and now you're kissing on Gabby. Okay. Then we go to Tyreek and Justine, which Justine was like, he was on probation, he on probation, all right, he on probation. Tell you why, you know, little sweet talk. And next thing you know, they kissing, like, I mean, Justine knows very well that, like, is basically some type of toxic game that they have right there, because, you know, she did him dirty essentially, or he felt humbled by her, so then he had to do her dirty, and then therefore she's like, you know, we're 1-1 now, so this is how we're gonna keep on moving along in the villa. And obviously he, you know, laughing at the fact, you know, kikiing, because, you know, she clocked his tea, you know, like, you know, he's trying to get back at her. But obviously they share a kiss. Like, that probation ended mad quick, you know. He's saying he liked to, you know, he still likes her, wants to continue this with her, So there we have it. It was a lot of smooches, a lot of kissing, a lot of this, a lot of that. Josh and Andrea, they kiss into, you know, they're happy that they were saved and have to duel, You know, it is what it is. Next thing you know, Lucinda feeling some type of way about Sydney. I guess because the shirt that Sydney had on for the duel was like, you know, she's the world's best ex-girlfriend. And I guess Sydney was just saying, like, you know, being here and seeing her ex-boyfriend in here, getting to know Lucinda. I mean, or just getting to know anybody in general was kind of weird or whatever. But anyways, you know, Lucinda's feeling some type of way about Sydney. So it's just kind of like, okay, all right, Lucinda, like, it's not all about you. But anyhow, they all go to bed, everything. Next thing you know, it's basically another challenge. So the challenge is to cut up in teams. So they had Johnny and Gabby be team captains, while Casey and Nicola were team captains as well. So basically the two people who were in the box and their couples were team captains. So they had two 7-person groups, which consisted on, with Johnny and Gabby's team, they picked Andrea, they picked Tyreek and Toby, and they had Isaiah on their team. So that was, you know, the 7-person team. And then it was Garby, Kendall, Nicola, Casey, Sydney, and I believe that's about it on their team. So and Justine and Josh, that was on their team. So that was the team, and basically they have to, you know, go against each other in like head to head. Basically wearing these like funny looking wigs, giving Charlie and the Chocolate Factory Oompa Loompa style situation. So basically the team that has like the longest time loses, and they're vulnerable. So 7 people are vulnerable off the bat. So they like chop the team up, you know, anyway, because I was just like, how is Andrea on this team and Josh is on another team? But it's basically because they can pick anybody to, you know, curate how strong your team is. So they made their teams, and then basically because it's 7 people, one person has to do the challenge by themselves. So basically Casey and Nicola, they chose Lucinda to do the thing on the break yourselves, because obviously Lucinda was last in like the first challenge. And then they chose Sydney because Sydney never had to, I guess, duel or do anything. So this is her, you know, strategy to like win. So the first heat was Nicola and Casey versus and Isaiah and Andrea. Nicola and Casey, they won their heat. They beat Josh and Andrea. Not Josh and Andrea, Isaiah and Andrea. Second heat, you know, Garby and Kendall, they basically finished the entire situation. But because I guess I feel like they got robbed, because that yellow balloon was not working, because both Kendall and Garby and Sydney, they both finished the whole thing first. But I guess the yellow balloon wasn't gonna pop, and like it was so easy for the pink balloon to pop, but the yellow balloon was taking so long to pop, and it was crazy work, because it was just like, wow. I will say the clear winner, the clear people who definitely lost was Justine and Josh, because Tyreek and Toby, they were locked in.
Oh, Jesus! You know when you have friendship for a long period of time, there's not a lot of talking you got to do to each other to get each other going. Do you get what I'm saying? Telepathic. It's telepathic.
They finished their challenge, had time to sit down and, you know, play around, whatever, while they watched Justine and Josh finish their challenge. It was obviously they were clear losers in that challenge. So it was like basically those 4 heats, and then it was like Lucinda and Sydney last. And obviously, like I said, Lucinda finished her thing first, while it was the balloon situation that stopped her. And basically, you know, with Kendall and Garby, they beat, you know, Johnny and Gabby, but you know, the balloon didn't pop, so they were like seconds behind them, which is crazy work. Really crazy work, because that could have probably costed them, you know, being vulnerable or not. So we came back to the villa, and obviously, you know, Johnny and Gabby's team won, because, you know, Casey and Nicola only won the first heat. So how they ranked was Justine and Josh were the last place, while Isaiah and, you know, Andrea were 5th place, Kendall and Garby 4th place, Johnny and Gabby 3rd, Nicola and Casey 2nd. That meant that Toby and Tyreek were the 1st place winners. So, you know, they were like, okay, what does that mean? So they were like, basically, because the majority of Johnny and Gabby's team won almost all the heats, that would have meant off the bat that Johnny and Gabby's team won. So I was like, okay, they obviously won. So they won. Lucinda beat Sydney. So it was just like, okay, well, with all that being, you know, calculated, you know, even if it's mere seconds, Johnny and Gabby's team won. Find out later in the episode that they won Power Team. So they had to like basically do a little secret little, you know, Power Team whatever. Which is what's crazy is that the beige brigade, everybody in the beige brigade is literally safe. So everybody's vulnerable. It's Justine, Garby, Kendall, Casey, Nicola, Josh. They're all vulnerable, which is crazy. So when they found out they won, they were like basically cheering on, very happy and like loud about it. Which, I mean, you know, is fair. They won. They're not vulnerable. They're not, you know, about to go home. So they have to all in the bedroom, and they're basically conspiring. They're trying to figure out which 2 guys and 2 girls to go to a duel. So it's just like Garby just did a duel. Garby and Kendall just did a duel the day before, and now 24 hours, a little 24-hour rest, which wasn't even a rest because they did a challenge. they have to find out that they're going to do a duel again the next day. You know, a day in between the duel. So it's crazy. No rest for the weary. So I feel like since Andrea's on the winning side, she's going to advocate for Josh. You know, Tyreek, he's obviously going to try to advocate for Justine. That's what I feel like that's going to, you know, how it's going to do. We hear Andrea basically saying how Kendall and Casey are a fair match to duel. Because I feel like at the end of the day, Kendall's going to obviously have to go to a duel. Is whether if they're going to try to take out, you know, use Josh to take Kendall out, or try to battle between Kendall and Casey. And then that thing is that, you know, would they use Justine to take out Garby or Nicola? So I feel like, you know, realistically, the duel is probably going to be Nicola and Garby, and then Kendall and Casey. I mean, if it's not, it'll be very surprised. You know, if they try to get, you know, Josh into a duel or Justine into a duel. Because, I mean, if he does put Justine into a duel, it'll be crazy. Because the way they put them in a duel, they have to kiss the person. They have to seal it with a kiss. So I'm like, how are they going to seal with it a kiss to, you know, Kendall and Garby? Like, how are they going to kiss Kendall and Garby unless they, you know, we got, you know, Andrea or somebody like that kissing their cheek, or loosening the kiss in their cheek or something like that. Because how are they going to seal it with a kiss? Because there's nobody on the winning side that's like, I don't know, gonna kiss Kendall and Garby. That's crazy. I mean, maybe you could do a little kiss cheek, you know, a cheek kiss or whatever, but it's very crazy how they're gonna seal that. I hope Garby and Justine are safe. Like, I really do hope that they're safe, and even if one of them are dueling, I hope they win the duel, because it's crazy how the beige brigade is running things. Johnny, he is just running things, and Sydney, she had the right idea, because he's like, the way Johnny moving, he gonna be on Love Island season 80.
It's just fucking awful.
It's just because it's Johnny. It just pissed me off.
I know, dude. Kid lives for it.
Whatever. He's gonna be on Love Island season 80.
That's a
like, come on, dude. Like, come on. But that was basically episode 13. It was like another challenge, another duels coming very soon. We're basically in the end game, so it's like, okay, we need to like find out who's going to be our final four. I feel like Tyreek Toby is a lock pair, you know, as a duo. Whoever in their couple are a lock pair going to the finals. Johnny, he's looks like the strongest guy there. I mean, I feel like if they can get him and Josh could go at it, that'll be to see who's gonna go to the final. But anyways, this was episode 13 once again. If you guys like the video, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns. You can subscribe to my channel, subscribe. Anyway, you guys watching this video, peace.